Editor's note: one of the cardinal points of President Muhammadu Buhari during his electioneering campaign in 2015 is fight against corruption. But there have been mixed reactions among Nigerians concerning the hype about the success recorded by Buhari-led administration in the war against corruption. In an article sent to us, a social commentator, Jerome-Mario, writes about Vice President Yemi Osinbajo's recent comment about the fight against corruption in Nigeria. It is a deep-seated teaching within the religious circle that for a man to exist, comprehend, exercise and act, he must depend on a supernatural gift called grace. Such grace for political decisiveness seems to have been recently released upon our nation's Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, as he against all permutations conceded that corruption still exists in President Buhari's administration. Adding context, the Vice President had, while speaking at the 7th Presidential Quarterly Business Forum for Private Sector Stakeholders in Aso Rock Villa, among other things stated as follows, that there is grand corruption in the Nigeria public finance space, that Nigerian business environment is burdened with corruption, that corruption under this administration has not been completely dealt with. No, certainly not. He also added that about $3 million, approximately 1/10 of our foreign reserves, was fleeced through a strategic alliance program in recent times. Certainly well crafted, with telling good intentions aimed at promoting openness and probity in our political space, the remark, in the Nigerian history has presented Professor Osinbajo as a desirable member of the league of very few Nigerian leaders who conceded that something may actually not be completely right with their administrations. Against this backdrop, the VP, going by what the masses are saying, has made himself the symbolic pulpit that expressed the silent fears of Nigerians who in recent times lampooned the purported corruption fight as more of a well-said than a well-done affair. But, the above scenario notwithstanding, Knox has, however, continued to greet the said remark as Nigerians have further spotted a gorge of discrepancy between the VP's remark as against what the administration is currently doing. For instance, while the VP views corruption fight as work in progress, the vast majority of Nigerians believes that there is no such fight in the first place. To some, the FG through its actions remains the major propeller of corruption, while others are of the opinion that the supposed fight only exists in the frames. Indeed, it appears that the fundamental factor responsible for the dust so raised by the remark is that Nigerians are particularly not happy with this administration that promised to stamp out corruption but, instead, has unprecedentedly allowed it thrive. To discerning minds, therefore, informing Nigerians that the same monster the administration promised to erase still exists 3 years after is synonymous with opening the paradox, a development that has further portrayed the government as a reality Nigerians should worry about. The situation is even made worse by the inability of the FG to deliver the nation from the throes of economic hardship, prompting many to ask what the administration can point at as their achievements if they cannot fulfill the two cardinal promises of stamping out corruption and getting the nation's economy revamped. In recent weeks also, there have been strong voices raised against the lackluster strategy in corruption fight in Nigeria, with the most formidable of the voices coming from the Transparency International, (T). The group had in strong terms cautioned that corruption in Nigeria is on the increase and may slide from bad to worse if something dramatic is not done to get the situation arrested. That report was described in the government quarters as out of tune and therefore discarded with the wave of hands. But with this comment by the number 2 citizen, the Transparency International, T, and other critical minds have been vindicated. To succeed in this job, what Nigerians are saying is that the strategy so far employed in the corruption fight is faulty and the government, lacking in political will. What the concerned citizens are, therefore, demanding is the reinvigoration of the political will and review of the strategy so far used, as no matter how beautiful a strategy may appear, there is a need for its periodic review. From their current standpoint, what the masses expect from the VP in my views is not the announcement but a template in place for ensuring that every dollar, naira in revenue would be properly accounted for and would reach the beneficiaries at the grassroots as $1, without being siphoned off along the way, block the areas where discretionary powers had been exploited for personal gains and sharpen the instruments that could prevent, detect or deter such practices. Very instructive also is the need for this administration to end this act of pointing to the former administration as the architect of their predicament, which has become not just a familiar music hall firm but a trademark. Such reasons generated daily can no longer be sustained, as the people are of the opinion that the continuous searches for lost things remain the easiest way to waste both time and resources. Going forward, the presidency should learn to depart this vicious circle of excuses, as it is turning the entire administrative episode to an excruciating burden on the masses and may by implication inform as well as shape the 2019 electoral outing. Aside the above, efforts should be made to prime and position the EFCC, the ICPC and the Nigeria Police Force to fight this monster. This time is auspicious for us as a people to learn from the nations that have passed through this part, as the masses are expecting from this administration not just stamping out corruption but a total creation of a sustainable socio-economic prosperity. In making this call, I am well aware that there is nothing more difficult to handle, more doubtful of success, and more dangerous to carry through than initiating such changes, as the innovator will make more enemies of all those who prospered under the old order. But, any leader that do come out powerful, secured, respected and happy. As the debate on corruption fight rages, Nigerians are inching for victory, a disposition that has further made winning not just compelling but inevitable.